He's Tim McCarver, Major League Baseball on Fox, and he joins us now. You got Game 4 that he'll be calling. That's coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern with the Red Sox and the Tigers. Another power outage. What is it about postseasons here? Super Bowl with a power outage, and you had one yesterday, Tim?
I don't think I've seen as consistent starting pitching as the Cardinals, Dodgers, and the Tigers, Red Sox. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Two bookend 1-0 games, one by the Tigers, and last night by the Red Sox. I mean, these guys are just not giving in. There are not a lot of balls even been hit hard.
Well, Tim,
with the exception maybe of David Ortiz, nothing stands out. Napoli, of course, last night with a home run, but nothing stands out as anybody hitting a ball hard, even out.
I was talking about the actual power outage, the literal power outage there that you guys. Yeah.
I thought you talking about misconstruing a question.
What is the booth like?
I don't have any idea what a substation is. Are you kidding me? Don't have a clue.
But what goes on during that power outage because you got to fill some time here, 17 minutes worth.
Yeah. Obviously, you're talking about the starting pitchers. What do? That's the key. I mean, I don't know what they did last night. John Lackey was visibly miffed, and Verlander went down there and came out. I have no idea what they did. I guess Ken Rosenthal did, but I didn't. Somebody had to be on the field to know what the pitchers were doing.
It's one thing. Everybody looks like an ace now. You know, it's not just Verlander and Kershaw and Greinke. I mean, those guys have lost games against guys who were considered lesser starting pitchers. But what is it about pitching in the postseason? Is it more about the pitching or the hitting in the postseason, the approach? Because pitching stands out in the postseason, and I'm not sure why. I don't know why pitching is so much better, or is it the approach of the hitters is different?
I think it's the concentration of a pitcher and the approach of pitchers. I've never seen, as an example, I've never seen John Lackey get his breaking ball over behind in the count like he did last night. I mean, he's primarily a power guy, and his breaking ball was breaking, and we've covered him for 11 years, starting with the 2002 World Series between the Giants and the Angels. And I've never seen him throw a breaking ball like that. Pitchers have the advantage anyway, and you consolidate a series like a maximum of 7 games, and the starting pitchers are really going to dominate. They did. You know, I look back 50 years ago to the 60s when Gibson just absolutely dominated during the series. This is really nothing new. Why does it happen? I don't know, but you get one power pitcher who's on a roll and red hot. But of course, Verlander last night. I mean, he's given up 1 run in his last 5 starts, and he loses last night.
I know.
Because his team, and leaving guys on third base with 1 out. The Tigers had 3 chances to do that. Even a fly ball or a weak ground ball would have scored the runner, but didn't happen.
Tim will be with Joe Buck, Aaron Andrews, Kenny Rosenthal. Coverage on Fox tonight at 7:30 Eastern, Game 4. The Dodgers and their enthusiasm, I know they lost last night, and they were their own worst enemy, but this whole Cardinals approach, and they do baseball the right way, and who are these Dodgers? We're jumping in a pool in Arizona, and you're celebrating on the bases, you're posing at the plate. Your thoughts on the Dodgers approach postseason baseball so far?
Well, it was really, when you think about it, it was only the Puig incident, and I don't know what Yasiel thinks. I mean, I don't know whether they do that in Cuba or what. I mean, but run the ball out. I mean, and I agree with Carlos Beltran and Adam Wainwright. The game used to police itself, and that stuff didn't go on, because if it went on, guys would be somebody would reciprocate in kind and throw a ball behind them or what have you. So guys didn't do that. And because nobody gets thrown at anymore and umpires are told to be sensitive to that inside pitch, they don't do that. So the game's changed in that regard, and everybody knows that. But, the Cardinals, with that infusion of young arms, my gosh, one is better than the other.
Know. Yeah.
Segrist, Rosenthal, guys like that. It's unbelievable how they keep running young arms out there, and they're using them properly in the bullpen as opposed to starting them.
I mentioned that Puig, the only thing I'd be concerned about, you can have youthful enthusiasm. He shouldn't have posed at the plate. But,
Sure,
going into
course.
third and celebrating because he had struggled, team had struggled, you're at home, and everybody got fired up about it. I said I would be concerned if somebody throws at him or one of his teammates in the series. You saw that last night where, they threw at Puig in the fourth inning there. So it still polices itself. And I think the Cardinals are saying, all right, you know what? Don't do that again. And now let's move on with it. So I like seeing the enthusiasm. I just don't want to see it when, it's somebody saying, hey, notice me, as, instead of.
Oh, that's right. You're right, Dan. There's a certain protocol and class by which major league players should abide. And enthusiasm is one thing, but calling attention to yourself, you better find that out because somewhere down the line, it's going to go against you, and you ought to expect it because it'll happen. Maybe not today, maybe not next week, maybe not next year, but sometime in your career, you're going to make somebody very angry doing that, and a fight's going to ensue. So.
Don Mattingly's future. Let's say they do bow out later today. He doesn't have a contract next year. John Heyman, CBS Sports, said that they're in the process of, bringing him back. They plan on bringing him back. Could you see?
They ought to bring him back.
Okay.
In no other sport is a manager hung out to dry like baseball. It seems to me, very few, as opposed to baseball managers, very few football coaches or basketball coaches are fired during the season. And yet baseball managers, it's an expected thing. And I've never really quite understood that. Don Mattingly this year, everybody was after his job in late May and early June. And they started winning. Was he doing anything differently the first 2 months of the season or the last 4 months? Of course not. He was being himself and being a good manager like he is. It's ridiculous, but it's going to continue, and no reason to think that it's going to change.
Good to visit with you. Tell the guys I said hello, and we'll be watching later on tonight.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
All right,
always enjoy it.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Tim McCarver.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.